What is good, YouTube? It is your boy, Zeiler, checking in for what seems to be a brand new implementation here on the channel, as well as a brand new installment. And I'm just checking in with you guys today. I know it's been a minute since I have come on this platform, YouTube, and connected with you guys, talked with you guys. And it's crazy because it's like every single time I find myself motivated to get back on this YouTube grind, and every time I'm motivated to fight this YouTube algorithm and get back on my consistency on this platform, it's always like life hits out of nowhere. You know, something comes up, a distraction or something purposeful where my attention and my energy is called for in another direction, which kind of sucks, you know, because towards the beginning of this year, I was excited to, you know, once again fight this algorithm. I've done it my whole life, you know, since I started YouTube 15, 16 years ago. I'm no stranger to, you know, getting away from posting consistently and your algorithm getting affected in a negative way to where your viewership goes down. People aren't seeing your videos as a result of your lack of consistency. I'm no stranger to this. So going into 2025, I was excited to want to post a lot on YouTube again and do more with the platform than just bodybuilding, just fitness. Transition towards doing what I've always set out to do, which is, you know, help others. And in this case, you know, sharing experiences, sharing life events that happen, ultimately, I've always found are the most helpful, the most motivating to people when they're able to connect to you as a human being instead of just viewing me as a piece of meat, you know, lifting weights obsessively 7 days a week. You know, the gym's always going to be there. But every time I get motivated, and even here on my laptop, I have notes, journal entries, novels worth of writing and journaling of different ideas and topics that I want to talk about, different life events that I really want to go into in great detail. And it's weird. It's just every time that I'm, you know, coming around to getting more consistent, that's when things happen. So that's really what this video is about, just updating you guys on the past several weeks, because the past several weeks, months, years really have been just heavy. You know, life hits at times, and I almost feel like I haven't had a whole lot of time to breathe with the way life has just been hitting, you know. Not that I'm coming on here to look for sympathy or, you know, oh, I'm sorry, Zach. I'm not looking for anything like that. I just consider you guys to be a part of it all. You guys are my family. Many of you guys have followed me from the very beginning, and it's been a long journey, a long road. And so I do feel inclined to check in and talk to you guys one-on-one, at least semi-consistently, once in a while, just to check in. So the past couple weeks have been kind of crazy, unexpected, to say the least. Had some curveballs thrown. Last month, April 16th, I turned 31 years old, which I know that when people turn 30, I've heard a lot of different people who almost seem to go through something, you know, when they enter their 30s. Like, they feel like they're getting older, they feel their joints falling apart on them, they lose sight of direction, and they feel like they're going through the motions throughout their 30s. And, you know, turning 31, I feel like I was the exact opposite from those people. I feel like I have been kind of stuck in my prime for quite a few years, and I've never been the type to view it in that negative way. Like, it's crazy because at 31, I still feel like I'm 22, 21. And in fact, today, I ran into a person that was 36 who thought that I was like in my early 20s. So it just goes to show, like, it's really a mindset when it comes to aging, when it comes to taking care of yourself and your body. my body, my joints feel very healthy, very strong, lubricated, and everything. Don't get me wrong, I'm sore absolutely every single day of my life as a result of all of the heavy weightlifting and the heavy poundages that I'm tossing around in the gym. But I believe that I've taken care of myself well enough to where we can only go up from here. At least that's the mentality that I have, and that was the mentality that I had when I turned 31. Just a few weeks ago, almost a month ago. So I turned 31 on the 16th, and I'm excited, I'm motivated. A few days go by, and April 19th, I'm hanging out with my girlfriend. In fact, from what I recall, we slept the majority of the day. That's not something that we do, but we slept in, we took a nap that day, and I'm not a big napper myself. However, we wake up from our nap, and shortly after waking up from the nap, I get a call from my dad. And my dad over the phone lets me know that they are doing a wellness check on my mom and his ex-wife. And that they're doing the wellness check in the house that I grew up in. Hangs up the phone, and Tara and I are just kind of waiting around. Not too much time passes before he calls me back, and he lets me know that they had found that my mom had passed away at the house. So Tara and I get out of bed, I get myself ready, she gets herself ready, and we head over to my mom's house, the house that I grew up in. And it's pretty late at night, it's dark outside. As we pull up, a handful of my uncles and aunts are there. My sister, my brother-in-law are there, alongside a few officers as well. And we get to the house, and the officers let me know that I am allowed to go into the house to see my mom if I would wish to before the coroner comes. Now, they tell me that, but then they warn me that they wouldn't advise it, and that she has been there for quite some time. And I was kind of persistent in, this is the right thing to do. I want to go inside. And I don't know if it's just the type of closure I was looking for, but that's the house that I grew up in. It's the house that my mom passed away in, obviously. And for me, I like to feel things. I like to experience and watch and feel things to the degree of which they happen. Like, I like to face reality in a way, which is kind of morbid in a sense, but it's how I wanted to deal with it. And so Tara and I walked into the house together. And as soon as we got into the house, we were greeted with the smell of death. That house didn't smell the best. We walked back into my parents' old bedroom where my mom was. We went into the bedroom, and with Tara holding my hand, we walked in, and she was on the floor, and we saw her decomposing body there. And immediately after seeing her, I had that closure. I immediately saw her and recognized this isn't her anymore. She's in a better place. This is just her body. This is her vessel, what she left behind. And so I think it was important that I went in there. I had no regrets of going in there, despite it being pretty graphic, to say the least. By going in there and feeling everything, it just gave me a bit of peace to know that she had found her peace. We went back outside. The coroner came, and they took my mom away. And we went back to the house, and Tara and I we talked about it all night. We talked about a lot of it. It was just a really weird situation. It's been a really weird situation. The relationship that I've had with my mom for the past 8+ years, to where after my parents' divorce, my mom kind of went her own way, and she kind of isolated herself away from everyone, our entire family, and kind of cut contact with a lot of us kids. But then she would periodically show up at least in my life, on and off, showing up at the gym, leaving me letters, or showing up in the Kroger parking lot, seeing my car there, and kind of like, coming and giving me a hug and saying what's up and everything. It's been a really weird relationship, to say the least. And that's something I would love to kind of dissect and talk about in a later video. Not now. It's definitely not an appropriate time to go into the details of all of that. But I think it would be helpful to, talk about mental illness and just kind of the struggles that my mother had throughout her life, because my mom faced a lot of outlandish forms of adversity and hardship throughout her life, a lot of loss. That's kind of what made her such an inspiration to me, is her strength throughout it all. Nonetheless, she struggled with mental illness for the majority of her life, and the way that this all happened, it just very unique and very, you can never really have a preparedness for things like this when it happens. And here we are almost a month after the fact. And I did want to take time to let it resonate before I came on here and talked about it, to just at least start grieving, at least start feeling. And to this day, I've still yet to cry. I've yet to cry about her passing, which may kind of sound heartless or things like that. But because of the relationship that I had with her, I've had a lot of self-reflecting that I've had to do in that time. And I've had a lot of acceptance that I've had to find within all of it, as she kind of chose to isolate herself away. Right now, I'm just taking things day by day. There's been a lot of talk from outsiders where they're like, how did no one go check on her for weeks? If she had been in there for weeks, passed away there for weeks, why did none of the kids check on her? I'm definitely tuning all of that out, because no one understands or knows any of the details about the relationship that I had with her, or the relationship that my siblings had with her. And I would never speak for my siblings, but I can say with 100% confidence that my mom loved me and that I loved my mom. And I think that's the most important thing to focus on. The takeaway from all of this is to focus on the good times, to focus on the way that she raised me and the gifts that she helped me to discover throughout my life, and to recognize that I would not be the person that I am today if it weren't for my mom raising me the way that she did, and instilling a lot of the very good qualities that she inspired within me. My siblings and I have a lot of work to do in terms of her estate and just taking care of things, so I'm spending a lot of spare time focused on that, doing a lot of running back and forth to her house, to my siblings' house, and just staying busy with all of that. There's a lot of old childhood stuff that I'm going through over at the house, and it's just unlocking a lot of nostalgic memories. And it's been a process. It's going to continue to be a process for the rest of this year. And I just wanted to wait for an appropriate time to at least kind of, talk about this a little bit. Let you guys know how I'm doing. I have a very fantastic support group around me here. From the people at the gym to my friends, acquaintances, family. I'm very blessed with those that I have close to me, keeping me in check, making sure that I'm doing okay. I wanted to be sure to include all of you guys at least a little bit, about the news, and recognize that years ago, I was posting with my family that my mom has shown up in YouTube videos, and she may have impacted some of you guys in the past. And I feel like you guys should be included in just that. That's all this video really is for now. The gym has been a fantastic form of therapy, as you guys could imagine. A great place to get emotions out, to play music, get through my workouts, push myself, and, release a lot of these suppressed emotions, so that the suppression doesn't become depression, so I don't get sad, angry, mad. I think I'm handling this all very well. I think that my mindset is just really, my mindset has come such a long way from how an older version of myself would deal with something like this, because it's heavy. You know, like I said before, you never hope for something like this, and I don't think anyone really sees something like this just coming out of nowhere. My mom was very young. She was 59 years old, and she had a lot more life to live. So it is a shame, and it can be frustrating to kind of analyze all of this, but at the end of the day, her finding her peace and her happiness is much more important to me, and I'd like to think that she's in a much better place than where she was before. And that's my takeaway from it all. Outside of that, you know, I'm staying busy, I'm working, I'm creating content for you guys, especially on other forms of social media, and I promise you guys that I plan on getting on this platform, on YouTube. It's one of my biggest goals that I have, is to get back on here, grind away, and to get consistent with creating content that's not only just gym footage, but content that's going to help you guys, content that's going to be impactful in this fitness industry that has become pretty superficial in my reckoning. A lot of the content that people create nowadays, it's just cookie cutter content, but I do plan on making little shifts in terms of what I put out and the things that I share in order to try to leave a positive impact behind, if I'm capable of doing just that. So that's all for right now, you guys. I didn't want this video to be really sad and gloomy or anything like that. I like to be real when I talk to you guys. I like to tell you how I feel. And right now, you know, I'm feeling good. You know, it sucks. This past Mother's Day was my first Mother's Day without a mother. And that's not me asking for anyone to feel bad for me. It's just things happen. Things happen that are out of our control. And I'm no stranger to waking up and having my world just kind of shift or flip before my eyes. And I'm hoping that by carrying myself with confidence and holding myself accountable during testing times like this, I can be somewhat of a role model or have positive leadership qualities that others can look up to in their hardships and in their forms of adversity to persevere and come out even stronger. So if you could take anything away from this video, it's to always resonate in love, always resonate in positivity instead of anger, frustration, feeling sorry for yourself, or feeling like the world's out to get you, or that the universe is trying to hurt you, or that the universe wants you to fail or fall. Everything that you do is mindset, and everything that you deal with in your life is mindset, and your reaction is always up to you in terms of what you allow yourself to get invested in. So that's it for now, you guys. Thank you very much for watching. This has been your boy, Zach Zeiler. I love you guys so much. Until next time, peace out, bye.